Well, tomorrow is a big day for me personally. I really try not to, steal a spotlight or something like that, because for me, the service that I do with Liz on his radio, it's not about me, but tomorrow is a really big day in my life. And because you're family, I just want to say thank you for the texts and the words of encouragement that have come in this morning. Liz just so unselfishly prayed for me this morning at around 6:30, and I was like, wow, that meant a lot, because it's family around here. But if you didn't know, and you probably can't really tell, I've been broadcasting from my house for about a month and a half now. November 2nd, I had emergency surgery. I haven't been able to get out of the house since then. And so, you hear some strong voice on the air in the morning with Liz. I've been really going through it for the past couple of months, and nights have been horrible. There's been some pain. And tomorrow I have reconstructive surgery, and it's a big one. I mean, it's 3 hours long. And after Liz prayed, a few people have been texting and saying, Rob, we're thinking of you and praying for you. And I just wanted to take a moment to say, thank you for thinking of me. That just means a lot. I'm really a nobody, but you're treating me so well, and I'm so thankful for that.
But you are. I mean, you're part of the family, and my goodness, you've been with His Radio for so many years, and people invite you into their homes and to be part of their family, and they want to know that you're going to be okay, and they want to give you that love and encouragement and that support that we all need.
Yeah, so Brian's coming in tomorrow, and he's going to spend time with Liz until I come back and I'm somewhat recovered. I'll still be home for a little bit, broadcasting in the morning. I'm hopeful to be back on Monday, but I don't know. I need to be smart and thinking about recovery. And then in February, I'll be back in the room with everybody. So I'm looking forward to not having to, well, maybe I should say I kind of enjoyed a 17-step commute, because it's just from bed to studio, which is really nice in my home, but it's nothing like being with everybody,
We can't wait to have you back in this studio, but you know what? You are most important.
Well, that's kind. That's kind of you. But tomorrow, 11:40, if you think about it, I mean, there's no requirement, but if you think about it, if I happen to come to mind, 11:40 is the time that I'll have the surgery. It should be about 3 hours long, might be a little bit longer, but it's really an important one. So I really am very grateful for all of your prayers and your texts of encouragement.
His Morning Crew.
I'm online the other day. I'm just looking around, and I see this conversation going on about grilled cheese sandwiches. And I think maybe a Martha Stewart article or something started the conversation, because Martha Stewart uses mayonnaise for her grilled cheese sandwiches instead of butter.
Oh, really? So she slaps that on and cooks it with mayonnaise on the outside of the bread.
Yeah, which is kind of weird to me. I've never not that I have an aversion to mayonnaise, but on a grilled cheese sandwich, kind of weird. But so people were starting to talk about like white bread and shredded cheddar, and some use mozzarella. So let me tell you about my favorite. My favorite grilled cheese, and I don't make it a lot at home because my boys don't like it. But you'll take like goat cheese, Havarti, shaved apple bacon jam, apricot marmalade.
We're talking about your grilled cheese here.
This is something that I get at my favorite restaurant, and I've tried to reproduce this or recreate this at home, and it really hasn't gone over well except for me. Because I don't normally like apples in cooked food, but on this grilled cheese sandwich, it is, as we used to say, the bomb. Like, it is amazing.
Really? I got a shortcut for you for grilled cheese. Take your bread. You don't even need to cook it. Put your cheese right in the middle. Your toaster. Smush your bread together a little bit. Put it in the toaster and let it play out.
How many times have you had to call 911 about that?
Never. You'd think the cheese would melt in the toaster. It doesn't. It melts on the bread.
How did you ever try it the first time? I mean, were you worried that the cheese
Listen,
was melt?
I was a single guy at once, and I would try things. I'd go, surely you can make grilled cheese in a toaster? Because I always burned it in the frying pan, and it works. It works. So if I'm home alone, the family's gone. If I want a grilled cheese sandwich, that's how I make it.
Well, I will say you're probably not putting as much butter.
I don't put any butter on it.
Okay.
You don't need to do any of that.
There's a lot of strange recipes that have come out of being bachelors, right?
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So Liz was just revealing moments ago how she makes a grilled cheese sandwich, and it's like really detailed. She puts apple butter on it or something, along with mayonnaise
Marmalade.
and marmalade and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's delicious.
What all do you put on it?
So it's like Havarti cheese. You do the shaved apples. You have the marmalade. You can put some bacon on it. Sometimes I'll do that, but this is something that I only make generally for me.
Well, she says the rest of her family doesn't like grilled cheese.
Nope, they just want Kraft sliced or Borden cheese on white bread.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's good too.
I make mine in a toaster. I know it sounds weird, but Monica, it sounds like Monica, who just got through at 800-447-7234, does it even different from that. So what about this grilled cheese stuff here, Monica? Go ahead and tell your story.
My son's in the Army, and you can't have hot plates or anything like that in your room. And so, you have to improvise sometimes. And the iron, you can make a grilled cheese. All you have to do, but not just cheese, anything in bread, because it keeps it, protected from the iron. And then you just can't press down too hard because otherwise it'll squish out and get everywhere.
Have you tried the iron?
I actually have.
That's great.
It's not bad. Just keep it really clean because, you don't want any starch on your food or,
That would be gross.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Yeah, it's pretty rough when you're thinking about how am I going to decorate for Valentine's. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
There are some Valentine trees out there. Have you ever heard of something like that?
Never in my life have I heard of a Valentine tree. What kind of gift is that?
Well, it's not a gift. Well, it's a gift for yourself, I guess. So it's kind of like a Christmas tree, but it can be pink, red, purple, all the Valentine's colors.
Oh,
and you decorate it with hearts and different things. So I have had an Easter egg tree before in my house. Have you ever seen one of those?
Nope.
Okay. Some people have them. You've never seen one of those?
Nope.
Okay. So you have them in your yard sometimes at Easter with the eggs hanging off, but I had one that was inside the house and you would put like on the dining room table. So it's the same kind of concept. People think they're silly, but I really think they're there to lift your spirits, I mean, if we could have something that just makes us happy when we look at it, why not have it?
So they're doing this for Valentine's. So what do? Stick a bunch of hearts on them?
Yes, you can put hearts or cherubs or Cupid or, those kinds of things and just decorate your Valentine's Day tree. Maybe it's something that your kids have made you in the past for Valentine's Day. Hang that on the tree. Decorate it any way you want to.
That's nice. Stick it in the
It is
corner.
all about-
Put some lights on it. Might as well decorate the house while you're at it.
I love that idea.
Put the lights outside. It's your Valentine lights.
Yeah.
And then you can turn them into spring lights and then summer lights. Have a summer tree.
Anytime you can have twinkle lights, that's a good day.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Evidently, and maybe you already know this, there's such a thing as a Valentine's Day tree, like a Christmas tree, a Valentine's Day tree. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Yeah, you can have trees for just about any holiday. Well, Daniel has a different kind of tree. He texted and said, I had a money tree once, but money seemed to not stay on it. I said, me too. I got 2 teenagers. That thing is always bare.
I wish it was a money tree. 800-447-7234. Hey, Marianne, what about this whole Valentine thing?
Well, yesterday I was in Dollar General and I was there to get cat food. So I wandered down the Valentine aisle because I'm a school teacher. I saw some Valentine garland, so I bought it. I came home, I got my small tree out of the barn, and I made a Valentine tree last night.
That's great. Went for cat food, came out with decorations for Valentine's.
That's right. Oh, and I bought some leftover candy canes and made those into hearts.
Girl, you are a woman after my own heart. I love it.
Well, I just needed some cheer. So on Facebook, I put 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient, love is kind.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
3 years ago, James, who works with the heating and air, went over to an elderly man's house because the guy wanted a second opinion. He's elderly and he's disabled. And then when James learned that the guy before him quoted him $7,400, James hit the roof. No way. He tried to take advantage of this elderly gentleman who's disabled. He didn't need that kind of work done whatsoever. And so James develops this disabled elderly plumbing and heating emergency response company. It's a nonprofit, and he calls it DEFR, to help out people just like that elderly man who needed some help.
Yeah, he said this cannot happen to our elderly. They're just being swindled. And so he, started this foundation and got out there. Do you know how much he's done just since the pandemic? He has put in heating and air and fixed heating and air. $77,000 is what he would have made during that time, during the pandemic. And he's done it basically for free.
Just to help out the elderly and people that just might get cheated out of somebody else, because there are great plumbers and heating and air just like James, and there's others that really try to take advantage of people. Since he started this 3 years ago, he's helped out 10,000 families. And just between Christmas Day and New Year's Day alone, he did 93 jobs for free in just that 1 week period. Himself did 93 jobs for free.
We need more people like this that can see that need and immediately fill it. I think we all, I could do a better job at seeing needs and filling them. So thank you, James, for all you do.
His morning crew.
It's a thing. There is pandemic burnout. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. So even the experts are getting together and saying there's some things that you can do to help the burnout. For instance, you schedule time for yourself, get to a workout program, meditate on God's word and pray, which is something I try to do every single day. Sometimes I feel like I fail at it. But here's one thing that I'm trying to work on myself, and that is not afraid to ask for help.
That's a hard thing to do.
It is, because for me, I'm just like, I guess I am too proud. I'm too proud, or I just don't want people to think all the guy ever does is have his hand out. And if he ever contacts me, some people are like that, it seems like. They're always asking for help. And I don't want to be that guy that's always asking for help, but I kind of need help. I'm learning because I have this big surgery it's tomorrow. I have this big reconstructive surgery that's happening tomorrow. It's important too. It's like 3 hours long. And I'm learning to ask for help because people are like, do you want food? What do you need? What do you need? I mean, for 2.5 months, I've asked for nothing. I'm like, I really don't need anything right now, And then I'm realizing I think my family might need some support because Daddy's going in for surgery tomorrow.
Right. And it just shows a vulnerability, and it allows people to kind of love on you. So I totally get that. Something I've been doing during the pandemic is really cultivating those hobbies. I've always kind of dabbled in baking, but man, since the pandemic, of course, we have Liz's Ugly Bakery, but I'm baking otherwise as well, just to get better. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried some baking. I've got this toaster. And I put bread in it daily, and it's awesome. I really feel like I accomplish a lot.
Is that considered baking?
His morning crew.
If you're looking for, some new ideas on some things to cook, here's a cookbook for you. Got you covered. It's from Lenny. Lenny's a year old, and Lenny's cookbook at a year old is titled this: Chef Lenny, Cooking for Humans. Oh, Lenny's a lizard. Not just any lizard. Lenny's a central bearded dragon lizard. So you'd know his stuff.
My youngest son has a bearded dragon, and all I can think is, I wonder if we can get him a cookbook. No, Lenny's owner, she got a little bored. So she's a food blogger. And during the pandemic, she got bored. And she was like, Lenny's kind of precocious. He's got a great personality. I'm going to get a chef's hat to put on top of him, and he is going to have recipes. We're putting together a cookbook.
Yeah, here's the thing. The cookbook is 134 pages long, so Lenny's been pretty busy.
Okay, you wouldn't think that a bearded dragon, I should say, would know how to make biscuits and gravy, but evidently Lenny does. He's a Southern cook, evidently.
I was going to say Lenny's from the South, so he's got his cooking stuff done. So if you're looking for a great cookbook, if you want some advice from a bearded dragon, Lenny's got you covered.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
I know about your house, but usually this time of the year, our door has been knocked on by 20 different Girl Scouts selling their cookies. It doesn't seem like it's going to be like that this year. Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
No, not at all. A lot of things are going virtual. We're having a virtual baby shower. Well, Girl Scouts are now selling, and I think they've had an app for a little while, but I think they might be relying on that app to sell their cookies this year.
Yeah, because you can't go off to like the Walmart or Target and sit in the front like you used to. I mean, maybe you can at some places, but with the pandemic, that's not everywhere, right? So
no, you got to take those extra precautions.
The whole virtual thing. So here's Holly and Blakely. Blakely's the daughter, or the Girl Scout, I should say. Holly, you say it's working for you when it comes to using that app and the whole virtual selling of the cookies?
We actually love it because it just helps everybody just have easier access, I think. Like, we have family that lives in other states, and we have been able to offer like the link where you can have it directly shipped to you now. And in the past, you've taken orders and you've kind of had to be face to face to take orders and then deliver them face to face, or rely on like the Girl Scout booths and stuff. But now I just feel like it's kind of opened up, and it's kind of brought maybe Girl Scouts into 2020 or 2021 now. A little bit more. I think it's been great.
Sounds like it's a lot safer for the girls to deliver the cookies now.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, when people say that they want to deliver in person, then yes, I'll go on and I'll approve that and just make sure that the address, is workable for us to be able to get it to them in a timely manner and that sort of thing. But I think it's been great. Yeah.
I'm curious, how has Blakely been selling these cookies now since it's all virtual?
No, tell them what you've been doing. Like, tell them the videos and stuff you've been making.
Girl Scout videos.
What's your favorite cookie, Blakely?
S'mores and the lemon.
This is her first year in Girl Scouts, and she's in kindergarten, so she's a Daisy Scout. But we're enjoying just kind of everything that comes along with it, and her getting to learn some leadership skills and life skills, and now the cookie part is obviously pretty fun too.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
What a courageous single mom. I mean, Milan, 5 kids in her house, actually 6. Now, there's 3 that's under the age of 16. The other 2 are like 20 years old, 19, 20, and 25. But Milan, essential employee, worked at a grocery store around Thanksgiving, came down with COVID-19. So things started to change in the single mom's house. And sadly, just about a week before Christmas, she passed away from COVID-19. And so now she's got these kids. Thankfully, her older kids, 25, 23, and 20, were able to step up, specifically the 25-year-old Vanessa. Vanessa all of a sudden became mom real quickly, especially to the 6-year-old, the 13-year-old, and the 16-year-old. And here's what Vanessa is doing today. She is going to be their legal guardian. She's taking care of her younger siblings. She has a little help from her brother just right underneath her from time to time, but pretty much it's Vanessa that's taking care of the family since her mom had passed away. And so she's gaining guardianship of them. And she works full time, and she's a student on top of that. So there's a lot that's on Vanessa's plate right now since COVID-19 hit and her mom passed away.
Yeah, but it looks like they have such a large family that they're going to be able to give her some emotional and hopefully some financial support as well. But, if you look at it, she's kind of been a little mama in training her entire life, I would think, because she has siblings that are, 10 years younger than she is and even almost 20 years younger than she is. So I bet she's got a good grasp on what's happening.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
If you're like one who likes to sit and just binge on movies to your heart's content, have all the popcorn in the world that you can have in your little screen at home, here's something that just might be up your alley.
Ooh, yeah. This is going on in Sweden, and this is a film festival that's going to be happening. It's the Gothenburg Film Festival, but they need somebody to watch about 60 movies, just back to back to back to back to back. I don't know if they're going to provide popcorn. Couple of things, though. If you want to sign up, you're going to have to do this alone, first of all. You're also going to have to do this in a lighthouse.
Cool.
You can't take your phone.
Cool.
Yeah, you think that'd be cool?
In a lighthouse, all to yourself. I mean, that's just, and we're talking a real lighthouse. We're talking a real lighthouse where the ocean is. You know what a lighthouse is. And so they really have a built-in cinema inside this lighthouse. It's built for one person, and that one person could be you. If you're into liking to binge movies for all that time, you have to do it in 7 days. It's a 7-day lighthouse experience to binge those movies at this Swedish movie festival. Hopefully, they'll have subtitles so you can understand what they're saying.
Hopefully they will. And hopefully none of those will be scary movies, because alone in a lighthouse, no. I need cartoons, please, or love stories. I could do that.